Okay. A lot of people do goat's milk soaps. And who here has done a hot processed goat's milk soap? All right. And have the ones that have done it, have you done it with the half water with all the lye? Okay. All right. Well then, what I'm doing is when I was first coming on YouTube, and I decided I wanted to make goat's milk soap because I had a lady that was selling goat's milk. I thought, I don't want to do that cold process. I'll have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for it to cure. And I didn't want to wait 4 to 6 weeks for it to cure. And so I just kept poking and poking, and I couldn't find nothing on hot processed soap, and goat's milk, because everybody said it would burn it. And so I just kept poking and poking and poking, and finally one day a light bulb went off, and I thought, well, maybe this is something I could do. So what I did is I got my oils heated and then completely let them cool. And today they're not quite as cool. Normally I'd let them go to complete room temperature. Today they're not that way. So we might get a slight color change, you never know. And I'm using coconut milk instead of goat's milk, but you can use soy milk, coconut milk, you can use any kind of milky product. And then also I've heard some people using goat's milk, and instead of honey they use pine tar. In this recipe, but any kind of milky product of any kind. And what I do at home is I chunk it in the freezer, and if I'm just doing one, and I'll put in like on the recipe, you got your recipe books out where it talks about the how much lye and how much water you're doing.
What page?
That was around 6 or 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's look at the Kim, there's another thing of lye over here.
Yes. And so if you look at your recipe, it calls for 13.3 ounces of water and 5.5 ounces of lye. And so what I would do is I would say, because I wanted to use as much goat's milk possible, half of 13 is 6.5.
Goat's milk recipe's not in the book.
No, it's not. And so what I do is where it says 13.5 or 13.3 ounces of water, I would use 6.5 ounces of water, and then that other little 3 ounces off the water, and the other 6.5, so that would be 6.8 ounces of milk, because I push the limit on the milk so I can get more in there. So so this is half of the water, but instead of putting half the lye in there, I put all of the lye in here. So even though I'm using half the water, I'm using all of the lye. Well, now we have some dangers with that. That means that this water is going to get super hot, hotter than water. And with cold processed soapers, they reduce the water a lot, so they're used to that possibly. And you might have done that before. But I find that it gets hotter faster. I mean, it's like super hot. And so you want to make sure that your container is good and heat resistant. And you also want to blend more, because you're dissolving all the lye in half the water. So therefore, you might have a more of a chance of it not dissolving properly. And then you know how yesterday we were checking to make sure we were clear and we didn't have any little crystals floating on the bottom. You don't want to put it in the ice or the freezer, depending on how you're doing it, until you're sure that all of your lye crystals is dissolved. Because once water gets cold, lye crystals especially don't want to dissolve. And so what we've done here is we've got our milk cold too, because even though our oils are at room temperature, and our lye is cold, when we do a little mix in here, we are going to get a little extra heat going on. So by having this cold too, I think that helps and to keep our milk from getting burnt. All right, so let me get my stick blender out. And as I said, I normally have these items a touch colder than what we're having them today. For this, I usually have to take a spatula and get some of the frozen milk around the edges out of the can when I'm doing the coconut milk. And I'm doing a double batch today. And so you would only have this much water in the bottom of your container, where I've got twice that because I'm doing a double batch of that recipe that's on there. And now, see if we're working. All right. Now, if y'all would y'all like to come forward and get a little closer to the pot? Feel free. As I said, come on down. It's the price is right.
What about your soy milks and your almond milks and your...
Any kind of milky product. Anything. I try to tell people, get stuff low sugar. I don't really like sugar too much. And so I tell people to try to stay with a lower sugar. All right, so if anybody wants to come up here and watch, come forward.
Y'all, I'll come on up so you can see what she's doing.
And I have froze my lye water.
Oh, okay.
By accident, and I actually had to get a spatula and scrape the frozen crystals out of the container, so it worked just fine. And this is another little thing I found. Rocking that pitcher back and forth. I can sit here and beat, but I also might sling it. We might sling lime water. But if I do it back and forth like this right here, I'll get those last little drops out. All right, now, for those of you who have not soaked before, poke your head in over here. Remember me talking about those swirls that mean that you don't have it dissolved? See that little glassy swirl going across? When you still have those little swirls, then you've not blended enough. That's lye water that's not been blended with oil. Let's get one going there. Because you see it right there? All right. Always keep your crock pot all the way on the bottom. Alright, now that's all I'm going to do. That's all I feel like you've got to do. Is that right there. And then we will put our lid on it. Now, we have this milk right here. And yeah, we could dump it right in. But our lye is attacking our oils at the moment. And our lye is attacking our oils at the moment. And my thoughts on the subject is I put enough lye to turn all of it, but all of the oils in here into soap. And now there's two schools of thought on that. Your olive oil doesn't turn 100% into soap. So no matter what you do, no matter, oh, it's okay. I see what you're saying.
Show me how.
All right. So your olive oil doesn't turn 100% into soap. So if you figure a 5% superfat, you're still going to get maybe 8 to 10, just depending on your olive oil, and because part of that olive oil just won't turn into soap. But so when I say to people, well, I do a 100% superfat recipe. 100% soap recipe, and then I superfat. Well, they say, well, all oils turn into soap 100%, but lard predominantly does, soybean predominantly does, and coconut oil predominantly does. So I'm using 3 oils in here that is very well known to turn 100% into soap if asked to. And so that means that almost 100% really is going to be super close, and possibly exactly 100% of everything in there right now is turning into soap. And then I've got my Superfats over here, and I'm not going to put those in until the lye is dead, so they're not going to get eaten on by the lye at all. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this right here, and if you'll notice, I've not got thick yet, and I don't want to get thick before I put in my milk. I don't want to start doing anything. That's why I didn't turn the crock pot on until I got ready to do it. And so I have given the lye an opportunity to eat on those oils so that hopefully it won't eat as strongly on the milk I'm fixing to poke it now. And as you'll see, it's 13.5 ounces. So we were able to get really close to the mark. Pass that around if you'd like. Now, with hot processed goat's milk soap, when you put the milk in, that's when everything seems to go, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. When you put the coconut milk in, or the goat's milk, or the soy milk, or the rice milk, when you put any of those kind of things in here, then it begins to change quickly.
Does your goat's milk stay that white?
I found that the honey or the oats or things like that, but usually the milks I've not found that they'll turn your soap funky colors. But
so they don't turn that buttercream color, the goat's milk?
Well, I thought you were talking about if they'd get darker, and like with when you put honey in there, it seems to darken it up. If you put any kind of additives, and essential oils can alter it, but most of the milks are all white, and they usually don't affect the color that much on a goat's milk soap. And if you don't burn it, it won't be stinky and turn weird colors. And that's what we're working on. We're working on not burning it. And so right here's this. And this is going. So now we'll take a break from this, and we'll look at our body butter recipe, and then we're going to be coming back to this. Maybe you've heard the term gel. Oh no, it's okay. I poured it in on purpose. All right, y'all have heard the thing. My soap came to gel. All right, when you use stearic acid in your hot processed soap, it can come to gel in your crock pot in a noticeable situation. Come and poke your head over, and if y'all haven't heard of it, you heard of the tic-tac-toe method I do if you can possibly watch some of my videos. With this one, we're getting an extra toe because we've got such a big thing. And see it bubbling right here? Well, you know how like wine or champagne could get trapped under a cork and want to come out, and it blows the cork? Well, I have had it happen that this gel layer on the top didn't make room for the steam to come out, and then the cork popped, and I found my lid and that whole gel thing over here, and the soap coming out around the edges because the pressure. And let me show you what's under there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and so, well, now it's not started yet there. It's just started on this corner. But a lot of times when you do that, it'll go woof, 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 like, yeah, let me out of there. And so I use that little tic-tac-toe method to give it places to breathe and for the bubbles to come up. And then I always dig out the center to give it place to for sure release its steam. Okay? And that's the tic-tac-toe method. And as soon as this gets out of gel, that's when I consider the lye is pretty much dead. So you never want to put your superfats or your honey or anything like that into your soaps until we've definitely got into a bubbly soap consistency and we're out of this gel. Because in my opinion, this gel stage is the last stage. And see how it's, you see that? In my opinion, the lye is going to be dead in that stuff. Because it's sort of boiling. Okay? All right. Go away. Just go away. Just go away, everybody. Go up there and learn how to do lip balm.
So you don't have to stir that or nothing.
Not right now.
All turn like that on its own.
I just give it room to breathe, and then I'll come back to it. All right, now see this? If this continues, this will burn. See this? So what we're going to do is we're going to get the hot and the cold mixed, and we're going to turn that little booger right off.
That's a serious shake.
Yeah. Now see how I'm just breaking it up? And the heat is what kills our lye. And this crock pot is still good and hot on its own. And I could have turned it down to warm, but I was happy with just turning it down to just turn it off because it was really, really bubbly and really, really getting to like, I'm fixing to start boiling or something here. All right, so now,
the way you touch that spoon, I'm afraid it breaks.
I know.
say,
Her videos.
I know.
She's never broken a crock pot yet. I watched a bunch.
I broke some stick blenders though. I've give them stick
Yeah, I
blenders
know,
what for. All right, so now what we're waiting on is we're waiting for all those chunks of soap that's still in gel to get blended in with that other and look like the other. Then we'll just move right on to next step.
And
okay?
you turn back on?
No, we're never going to turn that crock pot back on.
Oh, you waited because the heat is already in there.
Yeah, see, it was really, really, really bubbling. It was like, you could see it was super hot around the edges. So I felt like that's all the heat we're going to need. And this crock pot holds heat. It's ceramic. If you had a little, like a thin metal crock pot bottom or something, well, you couldn't have done that. Of course, I wouldn't recommend goat's milk with that anyway because the heat just goes right through it from the elements. But if you were just a little bubbly, you could have just put it on warm. But I was super bubbly, and I felt like, nope, that's too much. We got to cut this down. We're just going to cut this off a while. All right?
I can't wait to see you, mamas.
All right. Now, be careful. That's hot. And now, if you'll notice now, all of our soap has done this here. Sometimes it gets to sort of looking like oatmeal, but one way or the other, if you'll notice, see, it's all funky and it almost has a touch of an oatmeal appearance, and sometimes it'll be worse than others. This is how we're going to make it soap. See that the soap texture forming correctly right there? Everybody let everybody else scooch in to where they can see good. You can come around behind me.
Our soap say steak, right? It says
Oh yes,
because
it's hot, but it's not going to hurt me. It's done come out of jail. You want to feel it?
I do.
There you go. And if you bring that up like this right here, we're going to still spew soap at folks. It won't be lye soap, but it'll be hot soap. I mean, it's lye soap, but it's not going to like burn you with lye. Woohoo! We'll get our stick blender a hold of you. Say, come here, honey. Where's my stick blender? That's right. Say, I got my soaper girl muscles on you, a hold of you. All right, now we got soap. All right, now I'm gonna transport you behind me just slightly, just for a minute, so I can go right over here
So it looks
and
like
get
mashed
something
potatoes.
that's
Really?
probably blue hot.
That's where I got my soybean one.
Yeah, it does. It's like cocoa butter.
Well, that's, yeah, I'm making a total mess, but we don't care. We're not selling this, we're giving this one away. Too bad, too sad, it's not perfect. Now this is cocoa butter,
Yes, you smell it.
shea butter, and first press, cold press, extra virgin olive oil, and glycerin. And now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir this, and the heat. And I turned my crock pot back on right before I did that, so I'm gonna turn it off because I looked at it and my soaper's opinion decided that it could use just a touch of heat. Sorry, it's one of those things. Once you've been doing this for a while, you just say, "Oh, that needs that." You can just tell by looking or feeling or touching. And well, I guess we won't put that back in there. All right. Well, I'm giving it away. They can't say nothing to me. I'm giving this stuff away. So anyway, so now I'm stirred it up just a bit to get my Superfats melted, and those haven't quite got there yet. And then we're going to take and put our honey in, and
How much?
I put heavy on the glycerin, so I put 3 tablespoons. I normally put 6.
And how much glycerin?
And this is a double batch. I normally do 6. And on the glycerin, I normally do 2, but I did 4 because I wanted to put it a little higher in glycerin. I wanted this one to be super extra moisturizing for you.
Tablespoon?
And so now, this is our next step. You're fine on that. But I need a ride.
Now, how often do you use essential oil when you make
I
the
put
milk?
I put essential
Or do
oil
you keep it
in, I think, 2 or 3 varieties of my milk soap.
Gotcha.
All right, and as you see, we've still got just a little bit not melting, and so now I'm gonna heifer. Now this is something. The technique that I'm going to show you now is something that I think is just absolutely super duper. I know.
My brain.
You got that southern slang, honey.
All right.
I love it.
Now, if you,
For 15 years.
I preheated the second crock pot because if we used a cold crock pot, the soap that touched the sides would immediately went unmolded, and so we didn't want those to mold out. And now I'm going to, and this helps on reducing the temperature too by taking it out of the crocks. And yes, I should be measuring.
What is that?
This is 1 cup, and I'm doing a baker's split. I'm guessing.
What did you mix? How did you mix that oatmeal?
That is fresh ground organic whole oats that I ground myself. And we're putting the oats in. Oats makes wonderful shaving soap, I think. The lather is just so awesome. And then also adding a milk product makes the lather so creamy and awesome. And so you saw me put honey. You've seen how I do the Superfats. Now you can see this is not burnt. It's not going to turn orange or yellow or anything like that. This is going to be a nice creamy color. Put extra honey in it, and you will get color from your, a color alteration from your honey.
That's what I would like.
You're
Uh,
going to use it for shaving soap?
And what
I
about,
do 6 tablespoons on a double batch, and I've never added more. Sometimes, like maybe in a measurement, I might have accidentally got a tablespoon a little full, but predominantly it's 6 tablespoons of that. Now, the only thing we got to do now, because I'm going to put essential oils in it, is we have got to look at what our temperature is. We've still got to get to 160. Now, in my opinion, all of my colorants got sent home yesterday. So I know there's somebody here that might have something I could color this soap with. Anybody?
I've got some out in the car. I've got articles.
What you got?
Tanya's got turmeric.
Turmeric? Turmeric? Oh, that would be perfect.
In our bags, we got that red stuff that turned blue.
There's a couple of extra goodie bags over there, and I had some colorants in some of them. There might be. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Now, I wanted to.
I want extra.
All right, and
Turn that off.
so now, somebody hand me the olive oil over there.
Okay, good.
Now you can put your colorants in your Superfats. Could you pour me just a touch?
I got like black beads.
And I'll tell you when. Just go slow. Whoa.
That's a mold.
All right. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to. Yeah, you're clean. We're going to put a little bit of turmeric.
Do you want another color for the other one or not?
If there is some. And I need another one of these little bowls. And we're going to blend that with a little bit. I'd love to have some aconite root. Woohoo! All right. And yeah, pour me a little olive oil in that, and get me another spoon to blend with. All right. Yes. And so there we have softened our turmeric.
How many teaspoons or tablespoons?
Of what?
Turmeric.
Turmeric. I put about a full teaspoon.
Is that enough?
So that will be, that's only your
Oh,
preference.
actually, I want to reduce that.
Right? Kim,
Do what now?
that's just your preference when you put the,
You can use glycerin too.
no, I mean when you add a couple of spoons.
If you're doing the powdered spices, you'll get powdered spice globs if you don't dilute it with some.
I
Yeah,
got
that's what I'm saying,
Natalie.
but,
Aconite. That's it. And now the aconite root, we don't need much at all for that. Aconite root is very powerful stuff. And if somebody would return that to her. Aconite root.
it can be darker if you add too
And a
much.
nano.
Maybe
I think
just
that's what I did yesterday. It's too dark.
Oh, it's a good idea, because it come out pretty dark.
That's how you put it.
All right,
Oh,
and
really?
so now I'm going to do my yellow first and dump. Because I've only got one spatula, I'm gonna just wipe off, and we're just giving this away. This is just fun soap, so we're gonna use the same spatula, and we're at in between 180 and 200 degrees. So now all I'm gonna do is just blend this in slightly, because I'm sort of wanting to go with this.
Sure.
And I've still got to blend in my essential oils, and I sort of thought it would be fun to show you because we've diluted it with olive oil, we've got a little bit more freedom. And so that's all I'm going to do. We're going to let this cool, and then we will come back and put in our essential oils. And there's one little technique I wanted to show you with the essential oils that I think is really fun. All right, back over to Bobby. Okay, now this right here is the next trick, you might say, that I'm doing is I'm putting lemongrass and lavender in my soap, and I call this soap Floral Sunshine at Home. But what I'm doing is I'm not putting lemongrass and lavender in both pots. I am going to separate it, and I'm going to put one, 2, 3,
That's the lemongrass?
4 lemongrass. And these are our, these are the big Essential Depot 1 gram containers. And then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm putting exactly 1 more of the lavender than the lemongrass because lemongrass, if you just screw those lids right on there, lemongrass can overpower other things easily. So I'm going to give the lavender a fighting chance by giving it an extra. And if you'll, we have glossies in here. That's where those essential oils, I'll do this here. We have to wait until our essential oils have soaked into our soap. Otherwise, when it's curing, essential oils will start pouring out of the pores that didn't get absorbed by the soap, but just laying in the crack, in between the folds, you might say, of the soap. And so we want to go back to an opaque color and not be glossy. And there we see we have pretty much lost our glossiness. Here, let's see. Yeah, looks like that right there has soaked that up good. All right, now, remember how we turned that little knob on that to tilt it down? Bring it in close and tilt it where it's just showing these moles right here and the crock pot slightly.
All right.
Is it going?
Yes,
all right. So we're gonna do 2 different things. On this one, see, I've already made a Kimberly mess. All right. On this one, I'm hurrying. On this one, I'm putting a layer of that, and I'm putting a layer of this. And of course at home we'd have tried to be neater and prettier and all that fun stuff. And then I'm going to see what I can do about cleaning up my mess. And we're using these awesome Essential Depot molds in their new frames. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to bring the white up. And you saw, some of y'all saw me doing that. I'm digging the bottom up on top of the top. Then I'm going to just sort of disconnect the sides a little bit there. Now on this one, I'm going to put a blob of one color, and then I'm going to put a blob of another color. And you got to work fast with this one, especially if you let your soap get too cool. Then I'm going to put a blob of the other color on top of that color. And I'm going to put a blob of the yellow on top of that. And I'm going to put a blob of that on top of that.
Ooh, it smells good.
Floral Sunshine, this particular recipe is known to be one of the favorites on my shelves.
That's one of the
My first time people that's never bought from me before commonly go for this soap. And if somebody comes, I think that's supposed to be over there. If somebody comes up to me and says, I need to buy something for my grandmother or my wife or my girlfriend, what do I need to get her? I don't know what she would like. This is what I find to be picked as one of my favorite first time soaps. And so I always recommend this one and the Soothing and Calming, one of those two, and I've never had an unhappy person or a person come back to me and say, no, they didn't like it. So this lavender and lemongrass combination is very popular. All right, now Now, if you'll notice, I'm going flat.
Oh.
Gotta have fluidity for this. See the little S's I'm making? Alright. Now we've got to do our bump. Alright. Now we're going to do, hey, I'm not going all the way down. And you don't have to do this.
Halfway down.
I'm just going halfway down.
Do you roll all yours?
I roll a lot of them, but not all of them. And I find it to be, though, a fun, easy thing for, for y'all to play with. And you can do so many fun things with it. I often show it as an example because it's just so cool and fun.
Yeah.
Now, if you notice, it's not as tall on this side as it is on this side. Now it's not.
Well.
Woohoo! All right, now, let's get these. Now, if you'll notice, I was guessing. And I had a double batch. I knew I could fill both molds, but I wasn't 100% sure, because we weren't measuring out equally with scales and things like that. We were doing it quick at a show as a demonstration. So I got into that with more soap on this one than I did that one. So if you're using 2 molds, you can slowly learn your molds and know how to get that more evenly proportioned. This was just, on the fly. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. And we love you, New Molds and Frames, Essential Depot. All right, everybody. We made this soap how many hours ago? 3, 2. And we stuck it right in the refrigerator. So let's see what we get.
And this is mesquite turkey, and then they get ready for turkey.
Yeah, this is,
I get the cheese in, just whatever you like. And, of course, there's...
And I made this one skinnier. And everybody's going to, it's still slightly warm on the bottom, but it is cuttable. And if you're carrying a slice home with you, you're going to have to be gentle with it for transportation. Maybe take a piece of yours out and shove it down in there. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? There we go. Now let's get these over here. Okay.
And what is that, Kim?
This is the Floral Sunshine. Take that one and pass it around and let everybody smell it. Put that one on that side and pass it around. Let everybody smell it.
you'll get so much more than
I like that. I like that one.
This is made with coconut milk. Well, y'all saw me make it. Y'all know what's in it. This one here being thicker, and it's just a couple of hours old. I'm going to have to just work with it a little bit more to get it released out of the mold. I picked up some things that was on the floor, on the table on it.
This is the one that we kind of put the tan and then the gold and then the tan and then
Yep.
yeah.
I call this night into day,
Oh.
but I normally do it with black and white, and you'll have some bars that are more the black and some more the white, so I call it night into day. You don't know which way you're going to go. And these are very soft. Somebody go get me a butter knife from over there.
Is that Floral Sunshine too?
Yeah.
This is the Floral Sunshine, and with your mix-up, very soft in the middle. Gently go slide that down in your mold and replace one of your bars.
That smells wonderful.
But let's cut these in the bigger ones in half to make sure we have enough for everybody. All right.
I love that.
I'm gonna lay these out here, and as you see, this one here has not got warm enough on the inside.
I'm gonna be mad at you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I'm gonna tell my husband that it's never happened to him, I've done nothing man.
It's been the best ever.
I'm always available.
Brenda,
And I've only been married 4 years.
Kim.
We may not make it. We may not make it.
Move over just for a second.
So sorry, guys.
All right, that's our floral sunshine with coconut milk. Bye, everybody.